Good afternoon, Hit Nation, folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of Happenings, the only host, as far as I'm concerned, in the history of the internet, who continues not having a clue, but fully and wholeheartedly admitting to that fact of what he's talking about. But it's not true. It's not that I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. It's just that pretty much everybody else has a better clue. But no, we're going to introduce something today, which I hope that I'll continue to have this. But the truth is that a lot of those things are kind of repetitive. But I'm going to introduce the dumb take of the week. At least we'll see what happens with that. But before anything, I just want to say that it was a great game yesterday. First of a back-to-back, both for the Heat and Cavaliers, which I think is very nice that we see this. I think this is the second back-to-back that we see that both teams were in a back-to-back. And so both teams won. Both teams won fairly with a good enough margin so as not to feel any kind of heart attack. And a win, and the Heat won in a great fashion, right? In which we saw pretty much every player with a positive plus minus. I think Kevin Love, Rozier, a couple of others, but pretty much everybody else finished with a plus, with a positive plus minus. In which we saw in the beginning, Hero and Duncan Robinson doing everything right in terms of rebounds, in terms of assists, and in terms of points. For Duncan Robinson, that fluctuation happened until Bam took over. Duncan Robinson got I think he got 5 triples. I don't have the numbers right now in front of me anymore, but it was great. He had a great night, and because Hero was being well guarded in the perimeter and being pushed off the 3-point line, he went to work in the paint, and he scored amazingly well. We had 62 points in the paint versus 32 against the Suns. 20 fast break points against 11, which shows in our turnovers. Only 11 turnovers. Again, we're having a low enough turnover ratio. They had 14 turnovers. We were tied in points off of turnovers. Excuse me. At a certain point in the game, the Suns had 17 assists, if I'm not mistaken, on their first 18 makes. So it was going to be a hard battle. It was. We finished the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, down a couple points, and then we finished the second quarter or halftime down 5. We went into the fourth quarter up 5, and we won the game in a great fashion. We had 2 34-point quarters in the third and the fourth. We had Highsmith and Drew Smith doing absolutely everything that they should do. Again, I don't know why Burks gets minutes sometimes that he doesn't. I don't know why Jovic disappeared. I don't know. I know that Jovic wasn't having a great time, but he also, lost minutes. I find it very interesting that we still. Well, it's not interesting. It's not brain surgery either. Rozier is going to play because he is on a very high contract compared to, for example, Jovic. So that makes sense for them to try to play him. That makes sense for them to try to find something for him so that perhaps they don't have to attach a pick to him once they trade him, because I really hope that's on the plans. That's on the works. I cannot see Rozier flourishing in the system anymore. But he will still have good nights. So again, it's not that he's a bad player, right? I just don't see that. I don't know. It seems like it takes 1 step forward and 3 steps back. And that's what I saw when I recorded my last video. I was a little bit more patient with him. But then you see last night, again, him coming off the bench, making things harder, one of the things that I laughed with Raph was that he actually thought, let me pass the ball. I think it was at the end of the second quarter or the first quarter. I don't remember which one. Yeah, they had 1 or 2 seconds on the clock. And, he has the ability to shoot a 3. He's probably not going to go in. But he said, no, let me pass the ball right now. I have time to pass the ball with 1 second to go before the ball gets to, I'm not mistaken, either Robinson or Hero. I don't remember who he passed the ball to. It was already, the clock had already expired. But that just goes to show that Rozier a lot of times is just existing out there. And then he has some breakaway stretches, but they have been low. They have been in a low number, far apart. not necessarily far apart. Sometimes it's 2 games in a row. It has 2 great fourth quarters. I don't know what to say. It's difficult because, again, it's not established with us. So because it's not established with us, it doesn't get the credit. It doesn't get the credit that I think that as a good player that he is. He will maybe get in a different team. I don't know what's going to happen. I am not right now in the business of speculating for trades. I am curious, and I would like to know who you would trade for. I have a couple of names. One of them played against us yesterday. That would be amazing if somehow Royce O'Neal became available for a trade. That's one that Raph likes a lot. But I took a look at other people that I think that would be interesting for the Heat. But I don't think that we are going to be making moves toward those people. Now, it's worth mentioning that the absence of Nurkic and KD was deeply felt. We have no idea if we would have been able to reproduce the same results against the healthy Suns, and the Cavaliers are healthy enough tonight, right? The injury report against Cavaliers is as follows. Max Strus is out, of course. Emily Bates as well is also out. Max Strus ankle issue, and Bates the knee. Now Isaac, I read it. Isaac Okoro is questionable for tonight with a knee injury. Craig Porter Jr. with illness is questionable. For us, it's Pelle Larsson with his ankle. He's questionable, not out, questionable. It depends on how he really is. I imagine that he plays. If he doesn't play, I imagine we have a similar lineup as yesterday. I imagine that Jovic would actually be useful to us in a game against Cavaliers, but only, of course, if it's number one, able to stretch the floor, and number two, able to use his size on our advantage. Obviously, Khalil Ware is with the G League still, so I don't see that he's listed out in terms of the G League, but I'm quite convinced that he is. I might just be talking out of my elbows. In terms of my hopes, my pennyful hopes against the Cavaliers, 21-3 record. We have an 11-10 record. 21-3 record. But after going 15-0, they are 4-3. So, no, 4-3? No, they're not 4-3. After going 15-0, they're 6-3. Sorry, they're 6-3, meaning they've lost more games in the last 9 or in the last 10 than they've lost in the first 15, which is absurd. But the only thing that I can hope for is that we can somehow have enough players engaged. Yesterday, for the second time, I think, only this season, the only game that I can remember that the 3 main players in Tyler, Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, the 3 of them played well. I only remember them doing this in the first game against the Raptors in that win. This one, I'm not so sure. This one was the second time that we saw them. The 3 of them shot amazingly well. Let me see whether they're 75% for Jimmy Butler field goal percentage, 56.3 for Adebayo, and 66.7 for Hero. So he had an amazing night. So I hope that we can have enough players to be as engaged as these 3 were last night. Because I hope that they are engaged as they should be. They gave it a lot last night. So again, it's a back-to-back. We have that concern every time there is a back-to-back when it comes to Jimmy Butler, for example, right? But we already saw that Jimmy Butler missed a few games. I don't see necessarily that he's going to miss this game, and I don't see that he's necessarily going to shy away, especially because it is a worthy adversary. Question is, do the Cavaliers consider us a worthy adversary? And my main question, which is the title here, is can we not die on their hill? Now, as for the Penguins concerns, again, I have this sentence. I like it. I use it a lot because the truth is that it describes a kind of a vibe, right? This is another game to lose. Again, the Cavaliers are 21-3. They're 6-3 in the last 9 after a 15-0 start. However, they keep finding ways to win, and they very often leave their opponents in the dust, which he is going to show, right? We have been improving slowly in comparison to the 10 first games of the season. The 10 latest games of the seasons of the season. We had great games. Now, I can see how people think that we could have lost a couple more. I can see how I think that we could have won at least 2-3 more than we did, and the ones that we did, we won, pretty fair and square. Now, we are coming off of a 2-game win, attempting to reach a 3-game winning streak for the first time this season, and to be 2 games above 500. The Cavaliers are obviously in the very other side of that spectrum, leading the East with some comfort, right? They're 3 games above the Celtics, but I think they played 2 more. Now, since both teams are in a back-to-back, I expect the pacing to be erratic, meaning I don't know whether they're going to come out. We are going to come out playing quickly because we want to have more possessions, or whether we're going to stagnate because we want to kind of keep a little bit of our breath. Now, both teams came off of decent wins last night again, which means they may be either confident or uncaring, right? That is the nature of the regular season. You never know whether the Cavaliers are content with their record, and therefore, coming off of a back-to-back, they're not going to give it 100%, or whether the Heat are, which makes a lot less sense. But again, right, okay, we won this one, we can go back to 500, then we have the Raptors and the Pistons in front of us. Let's focus on the Raptors and the Pistons. I hope not, and I don't think so, but that's basically how it is. But you know that whoever does play will need to want to win, because I don't normally conceive as the Heat as a team that just rolls over and dies. But of course, they can, right? They definitely can. So in any case, as far as the money line, or the penny line, as I like to call it, it is quite obvious that the money line is better for the Cleveland Cavaliers, or meaning for the Miami Heat. If you play the Miami Heat, you actually get good money, right? In this sense, if we win, theoretically. But yes, basically what we have is that the Cavaliers are obviously the favorites in this case. The spread is not crazy. It's about 3.5, if I'm not mistaken. So very interesting. But again, right, they have a 4-game winning streak in their last 9 as well. So it's not like they are in any kind of trouble right now, and we are doing a lot better. So I don't know what to necessarily expect, other than, of course, this being, again, a very difficult game for us to come away with a win. It's not a game to win, but it's a game that it can definitely show a lot about us. We'll see how we play. We need to see how we play. We have to play these games as well as possible, but that's not going to take away from the fact that this is not a complete team, right? So that's another thing to think about, right? I don't want my team to lose. I want my team to win. That's always the case, but I also want, of course, the front office to realize that we do need to do something better. Now, as far as the dumbest take of the week, there are still fans out there who are calling for Terry Rozier to start in place of Tyler Hero, and are still saying that Tyler Hero is limiting his shot selections, or Spo is limiting Tyler Hero's shots in general, so that he can freely score only when everybody else is engaged. That truly happened after the game against the Lakers. I don't know what that person said. Is one particular person that said that. I don't know what that person said after the win against the Suns, but I can tell you this: I don't think that person has much to say, and it's not what. If that was an isolated case, I wouldn't have bring it here. But it is. Out there, there are people who are still saying trade Tyler Hero while his value is high. And I say this, stop it. Okay, Tyler Hero, by a lot of measures, is playing on an all-star level, on a most improved player of the year level. It's the Miami Heat that needs to keep up with Tyler Hero right now. Not Tyler Hero that needs to keep up with the Miami Heat. Okay? Dumb take out a week. In any case, stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible in this complicated world of ours. And absolutely, let's go Heat!